Happens when a child gets AIDS but feels healthy and wants to return to school. That's the dilemma facing a young Kokomo boy. Marilyn Mitzel tells us not only is he fighting the disease, but also the school corporation.
This is a new controversy to all of us, and no one knows how to deal with a child who has AIDS but is well enough to go to school. However, that may change. The news has learned that the State Board of Health may soon finalize some guidelines. 13-year-old Ryan White does things with more zest these days.
I try to get everything done I can.
Ryan has AIDS. He's a hemophiliac and contracted AIDS from a blood clotting agent.
As soon as we told him, he knew what it was. Ryan's very smart. He's taken time since he's been, gosh, like 9 or 10 years old. So he reads in time about everything.
Ryan was hospitalized around Christmas. The tree remains in the living room. At the time, doctors gave him only a short time to live. But Ryan's feeling good again. He's gained back 20 pounds. Now, more than anything, Ryan wants to go back to school, but the superintendent of Western schools says no.
You know, I can go to the movies and I can walk around town and nobody says anything, but I can't even go to school.
They do not want to take on the responsibility of the problems they might have from parents, from other kids. That's mainly it.
Not necessarily anything that could happen to him in school or other people contracting it because of him.
Well, I think that they feel that he will give it to somebody else at school.
Ryan's hoping the school superintendent will change his mind. In the meantime, he tries not to think about his illness.
I try to think of other things, like my friends and my mom, my dog.
When he's feeling so good, it's really hard to think that your child's dying. And we do forget about it. I don't want to think about when he's bad, you know, or how it's going to be later on, because I know it's going to get rough.
The superintendent of the Western School Corporation promises to provide home education for Ryan, but says because he's a hemophiliac with AIDS, there are no state guidelines to deal with his problem. However, we have learned tonight that the AIDS Advisory Board for the State Board of Health has drawn up guidelines that will soon be finalized. The guidelines state that a child with AIDS can attend school, but specific precautions must be taken up. And tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we'll try and get more into those guidelines and what they say specifically.
In a lot of those guidelines, then, doesn't Ryan have some recourse that he could take?
We'll find that out. They are now, his family's talking with their attorneys, and of course they will be contacting the State Board of Health to see what in fact can be done maybe legally to get Ryan back into school.
All right, thank you, Marilyn.
From WRTV, Indianapolis, Indiana's #1 newscast.